I joined Argyll's on the 5th of September 2004 and I got shot on Op Herrick 8 in 2008 in Afghanistan. There was a sniper that was cutting about. I then went up onto the roof to give cover and fire, but I couldn't really see anyone, so I started sort of laying a covering fire over where I thought he was. Then the next thing I know, there's a loud bang and I'm lying on my back on top of this compound roof, and I had Sergeant Hamilton, Hammy, was next to me. He was the mortars commander. He just started screaming, man down, he's hit. So I jumped back onto my gun and I could see I think 4 or 5 of them running towards us through the maize fields. So I shot at them, gave sort of covering fire. The adrenaline must have ran out and I started feeling a burning in my arm. And then I looked at my arm and realised, oh, lo and behold, it was me that was hit. I jumped down and the medic, Andy Pettiford, who ran through an absolute extreme amount of gunfire to get to me, was there ready and waiting. He patched me up, he checked all my signs, he asked me if I wanted morphine, which I refused because we didn't have much at the time. And he did a sterling job of making sure the wound was clean. He gave me some fluids just in case I was a bit dehydrated, and he reassured me. And the best thing that he did was he somehow, out of nowhere, acquired some Skittles, which was my favourite sweet, which were just non-existent out there at the time. Although people keep telling me my injuries were quite severe, it was merely a scratch. I was very fortunate in that the round actually hit the bipod leg of my gun rather than me straight away. I was left with these scars, and I still have chunks of metal in them which show up on an MRI scan, so I found it. If the round hadn't hit the button on my bipod leg, the way I was lying on the compound roof meant that it wouldn't have just ricocheted off of my body armour, it wouldn't have hit my helmet, it would have completely missed all the protection that I was wearing, and it would have gone straight down on top of my body armour. And the way that the bullets are designed to ricochet around, I am dead sure that I would not have survived that, especially where we were. There would have been no helping me from that kind of an injury. So to say that I was lucky that it hit a 3mm button is an understatement. Well, after I got injured and I'd had an initial patch up by Andy Pettiford, we had to extract me to the Mastiffs, where the medics were at the back of the Mastiffs waiting for me, and took me in and took me back to LCpl DC, which was our main base. The doctors and the nurses there stitched me up and made sure my wound was clean. 27 stitches that they put in, and then covered it up with more bandaging than I could ever imagine. When I got back to Camp Bastion, I was told to go to the med centre, where they gave me a checkup, took the bandage off, again cleaned it, put new ones on, and sent me to bed, which I was more than happy to do. So this is the cut off in the sleeve that I was wearing that day, and I would have had it on about there-ish, and you can see the holes that were made by the rounds and the bipod leg button, which coincide with my scars. This was cut off by the medic, Andy Pettiford, and then tucked in my body armour, and he told me to keep a hold of it, and I had no idea why at the time, but I'm pretty glad that I did now.